thinking about things visually in that context makes a lot of sense to me too. And I think one thing that all of us, you and me and Steve, are all kind of drawn towards this minimalist approach in some ways. And there's a few, I don't know like how relevant this is to the actual conversation, but there's a few artists, like minimalist people that I really love. And
Like who?
Robert, Robert Ryman?
Mm-mm.
He's the guy that like 90% of his paintings are just white.
Okay.
Because it's about the material. The work itself is kind of arbitrary. It's the things that went into it, and like all the thought that went into it, and the thought about the materials, and the thought about like what you were actually doing physically in the action of painting and creating, rather than what you are painting.
That makes a lot of sense in context of your work on this album, but I think immediately about your the EMS1,
Yeah.
the Synthie album you made,
Yeah.
where it's like you almost can't get more minimal than what you did there, but there's so much going on. And what I really enjoyed about that was like the album itself in a way is less about the music but the instrument, if that makes any sense. And then your relationship and how you use the instrument was so interesting to me, because there would be like this panning or like the envelope, like I was listening to the envelope of the sound, not like the note or something like that. And it's similar, and especially in this song with Donnie, is your synth work on this is just like is the canvas for everything else, and it just allows Donnie and Steve to play over that. The space in that is insane, from the recording to the mixing, right? Not to get too technical, but it was a stereo recording of Donnie, even though he's just like the solo instrument. So he's moving around while he plays, and all of that is captured. And that was intentional. That was really important for me, because then he's now interacting with the space that you've provided around him, right? He's like, you've become the stage for him, and he's moving within that. And that was really important. And a lot of the sound of Steve's kit, I'm interested, now that we've gotten into minimalism, I was thinking about how not minimalist the mixing is. Because there's so many extra layers added on. I mean, the recording is super solid, but if you listen to the raw drums compared to what turned out, it's definitely not minimalist at all. And we've crunched a lot of things, we distorted a lot of things. But it's interesting, we did it in parallel. So again, it's like those are new materials and new layers that we're adding to it, right?
But I think a lot of the things that you do on this record specifically, a lot of things you're talking about are spatial things. Like, it is creating that space, and I think that like giving the improviser the space by creating a texture that is still musical and is still like rooted in the thing that you're trying to establish musically and harmonically or whatever it is, you're really giving as much space as you possibly can for the person to just take off and be themselves.